Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Diz, a show that gives you everything you need to know to help make your Disney vacation as magical as can be in just about 20 minutes. I'm your host, Jeff Coviello. With me each week is Disney Master Sandy from Easy Diz by Instant Impressions Travel Services. Sandy, how are you this week?
I'm doing great, but I'll be honest, it's a little confusing up here in Jersey. It kind of feels like Florida at the moment. It is hot, it is sticky, and it rains every freaking day. I don't understand. It's raining every day in New Jersey right now.
You're right. We are in that pocket right now. It's been like a couple of days of it's been the reverse Florida though, because I find we get the rain definitely in the morning, and then sometimes in the afternoon it peaks out. I feel like in Florida you get the afternoon rain is pretty consistent.
That's true, but this season is not normally rain every day in New Jersey, and I think we've had rain like 12 of the last 15 days. That's Florida summer to me.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up though, because that's kind of part of what tonight is going to be about. Like tonight, we're going to talk about certain things you can do in the parks to escape the elements, like we talked about just now, and also certain things that have short wait times.
You know, it's really part of what made me think about it. Obviously, when the days are hot and muggy, sometimes our patience is a little bit less than it should be. So it's good to know where there's a short line. But also there are times where you just look and you're like, it's not going to rain anytime soon. I can't tell you the number of times I've pulled out my weather app and it's like, no rain in the forecast. And about 3 minutes later, we'll look at each other and say, is that a bird or is it starting to rain?
Yep.
And so you're really looking for, where can I run now? Not just to, take shelter. I can go hide in a gift shop at any point, but then my kids are going to ask me to buy 92 things while we're waiting. These are some good spots that generally get you out of the rain, sitting down and relaxing. You can sit, you can take in some AC. So maybe they're just on a sunny day, you need a break, or twice a day, you need that AC break. So these are some good short waits, but still having an attraction, something to keep you busy besides eating and shopping.
So let's go park by park, right? And we'll start with where it all began. We'll start in the Magic Kingdom, which is where we like to start from time to time. There are a number of things in the Magic Kingdom that feel like they were almost designed for this exact scenario. I know that's probably not what it is, but it does feel that way as somebody who spends a lot of time there.
Very true. And I think some of the reason, I'll call them the overlooked attractions, is they're not fast paced, they're not thrill, but as I said, they are well-designed attractions. Great. Maybe you need it to get away from the element. Maybe you need it to get your infant to nap. But one of our family favorites is, of course, the People Mover.
Mm-hmm.
Gets you, for those of you that aren't thrill ride people, makes you feel like you were on Space Mountain, get to take in all of Tomorrowland. It is rare it has a line, though it is one of the places that people run very quickly in that area of the park if it's raining. So watch out there, but it is a favorite of ours. Of course, the Carousel of Progress, that original idea that Walt had that he brought to the World's Fair that made its way here. And if you haven't done Carousel of Progress ever or in years, it's time to go back, because it is an attraction that changes every couple of years. That last scene of Where is the Family Today gets updated, and it is interesting as you go in to see, are they due for an update? I remember going in while they were talking about these phones that you could take with you anywhere, including in your car. That was the thing of the future.
Yep.
So Carousel is always known for a great little update.
It's also one of the things that you can feel very connected to the Walt Disney roots too, with Carousel Progress.
Most definitely. Mickey's PhilharMagic. I think it's a great show, that 3D effects, lots of great music, and they've got an indoor area where you wait, and then obviously the theater is air conditioned and dry.
Yeah, the one thing I'll say about that, just to give some people a concept if they haven't been to PhilharMagic. First of all, if you haven't been, where have you been? It's an awesome, awesome show. But when you are waiting to enter the theater, it is standing, right? So there aren't seats for you to kind of sit down. There is a line, and then you go into another holding area where it is kind of standing space. If there's not too many people there, my kids have definitely been known to pop a squat on the floor, but it's not typically set up for you to sit while you're waiting.
Most definitely. That's a great point. The other one that is overlooked so often, and again, we did a show last week and we talked about this in Disneyland. The Walt Disney World Railway is often overlooked because people get in and they want to kind of run down Main Street and get to where they're going, and they just never make it to a stop. So take a ride around. It's that whole perimeter of the park. Great way to take in everything that Disney has to offer.
Well, and also depending upon where you're picking it up, it could be an easy way for you to get from one side of the park to the other and not have to be in the rain or the heat, depending upon what it is.
Most definitely. Or bring you right back to the front, to that
Right.
train station, which conveniently, if you have young kids that love to shop your way down Main Street, taking the railway will bring you right to the exit without having to do that.
So from one of Walt's favorites to another one, though.
The Enchanted Tiki Room, which did begin in Disneyland, and it's always been a favorite. It's got that earworm kind of song to it. But as you said, it was an attraction that was so close to Walt's heart that when they ran out of money for it and it wasn't going to be built in Disneyland, he personally paid for that attraction because he felt it was that important. So definitely, again, an opportunity to get some AC, hear some music, and have a lot of fun.
And then exit and get a Dole Whip, which is really what everybody should be doing when they walk out of the Tiki Room, to be fair.
Sounds perfect.
So listen, as we head over to Epcot, we're going to give you a couple here. To be fair, in my opinion, I don't know if you agree, there are so many more places in Epcot to escape the elements, not necessarily with short wines, but definitely to get out just because of the size of Epcot and the nature of World Showcase and things like that. But we're going to just give you a couple.
Yes. And I think one of the key factors, or actually two key factors for me when I created this list was, can I sit down?
Mm-hmm.
And is there something to entertain people?
Right.
Because obviously you can hop into any fast food location. Most of them have indoor seating and AC. Gift shops are obviously a great spot to hop into to get out of the rain, but there's a limit to how long you're going to stay there. And these are just kind of ways to get the best of all worlds.
Okay. So where do you want to start?
So I'm going to start with Impressions de France, which is actually only their part of the day. All the way back in the French Pavilion in their theater, part of the day is the Beauty and the Beast sing-along, and part is the movie all about things that you can see in France. So check your app to know which one is which time.
Okay.
But again, seats and air condition.
Can't beat that.
American Adventure. Everything from being in the rotunda to checking out the Voices of Liberty to, again, heading into a theater and watching a show with animatronics and the history of America. Again, especially if you're homeschooling or played hooky from school for a day or two, it's a great way to have that theme park vibe, but a little bit of an educational slant to it as well.
And a really big theater too, like one of those things like you're going to find a seat once that showtime hits.
The other one, we're going to switch over to the front of the park. Nemo and the Living Seas. That ride typically has a nice short line. Hop in your clamshell and take a spin, and then you can check out Turtle Talk with Crush, which is floor seating only, or wander your way around the seas. If you know it's a big storm, that's a great spot to spend 50 minutes, 60 minutes, because you kind of get 3 in 1 there.
I would say that's probably where we have found ourselves spending the most time when we've gotten hit with a storm, back when we had the stroller days and we saw that we didn't put the cover on it and it's just getting pelted with rain. It was, let's go back in and you guys can go do the shark quizzes and play around in that shark area while we sit down on a bench and do whatever we're going to do. So a lot of places to go inside of that.
A lot of places there. And so, you know, unless you're the people that feel compelled to block the doorway to the gift shop to keep checking out whether it's still raining or not.
That does happen.
There can be a lot of people and you don't feel wall to wall.
Yeah.
The other one that Doesn't have a short line in the morning, so I'm going to be very honest about that, but definitely a shorter line late in the day, is Living with the Land. And if you haven't done Living with the Land recently, again, it's time to do it again. It does have some seasonal changes, and head out from there and grab a snack in sunshine seasons.
And a big seating area there too. Once you do grab your snack, so you should be able to find a spot. I also love about this particular area, bathroom right there near Soren. So it's if you have a couple of different things, you could hit up there if you need to.
Yes, always things to do. And then upstairs, things change in there for what movie they're doing, but there is usually a movie. It changes probably about every year or so. So another great theater spot with real seating that actually has backs to it and everything. So you can catch something else there as well.
All right. Well, we won't take the Sky Gondola over to Hollywood Studios because of the weather. Obviously, we're trying to stay out of the elements. But if you are over in Hollywood,
definitely. But that's a really important tip for people, Jeff.
yeah,
Find out if it is thunder and lightning. Don't head all the way to the International Gateway without asking if the gondola is running.
right.
Because when there is lightning, the gondola will not run. And if you're, especially at Living with the Land, and you haul all the way to the back of the park, they're going to send you all the way to the front of the park to catch a bus. There are no buses available at the back of the park because there is no road right there. So use that choice carefully, even if you're just heading back to your resort and not trying to get to another park. But if it is raining, even if you're at Pop Century, Caribbean Beach, Art of Animation, Riviera, if it is lightning, that gondola will not be running.
All right, so then let's just assume we're at Hollywood Studios, right? Let's say we're there. The wait times are a little bit high in some places, or the elements are kicking up a notch. So where do you want to send folks right away?
Mickey and Minnie's short in the Vacation Fun, just to the left of the Chinese Theater. It's so frequently overlooked, people don't even know it's there. If you've been a Disney person for many, many years, it's the old Sounds Dangerous stage. So get in, check out that movie.
Fun.
Right there as well, the Frozen sing-along. Its line is covered. And then obviously it's an indoor theater. So that's another great match. And if you do Frozen first and it's still raining, it's a very short run in the rain to make it over to Mickey and Minnie's.
Okay.
Kind of violating my own rule on places to sit. I would be remiss if I didn't send people into Walt Disney Presents.
Yes, definitely.
There are about 4 benches that each hold 3 people, and then a movie at the end. So it is not an all sitting attraction, but great history on Walt, on the Disney parks. I've never seen it crowded, and a great way to get out of the elements.
Super casual walking experience too. It's not rushed or anything like that. So you don't have to feel like you have to, scurry through it.
And same for spending your time leisurely over in the launch bay.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of memorabilia, things to look at. There is seating sporadically throughout there. So a good spot to get out of the weather. I know if you're thinking launch bay, you're wondering why I'm not talking about Disney Junior, because that's obviously a bit of time and out of the weather, but it's a timed show and the queue is outdoors.
Right.
So unless you plan that one perfect, that's not the spot to run when it's raining.
If you hit it right, it's great, but you can't.
If you hit it right, it's great. Also, right there, obviously the new Little Mermaid show, but because it's pretty new, while the queue is covered, it's been extending out of the covered queue. So you've got the sit-down show, you've got an indoor covered area for the people in the next show, and then the next show is a covered queue. But because it is just weeks old right now, they're typically lining up about 4 shows deep, and those people will be waiting in the rain.
Got it. Okay. What else at Hollywood Studios?
So just a short line, not a show, not a place you're going to spend long, But if you need to, you're trying to get in one more attraction, head over to Toy Story Land. Alien Swirling Saucers is known for that short wait.
Well, and a lot of that's because it's kind of like got the dual ride attraction going on, right? They're filling up basically two lines. The attraction's running doubled up at the same time.
And I think everybody who's running the Toy Story Land is running the Slinky Dog and running to Toy Story Midway Mania.
Yeah.
This one gets a little overlooked. Again, not an attraction, but if you're looking just to get out of the elements, if you head right past Alien Swirling Saucers, that is the second entrance back into Batu.
Right.
You can shop in covered areas for plenty of time there, or watch people assemble their droids, because that's a great inside spot as well, as long as the temptation to purchase isn't so high.
Yeah, that's a big if right there. I'm not gonna lie, especially if you've got kids. I wouldn't bring your kids anywhere near it and expect them to not want to come home with a droid.
So true.
All right, so let's segue out over to our last park, if that works for you, over to the Animal Kingdom.
Most definitely. And this one's got a lot of places to get some AC, have a seat, some shorter waits, especially later in the day. However, the big downfall to Animal Kingdom when it rains is it is geographically the largest park. And I don't know why, but it seems to pull puddles more than any park.
I agree.
So kind of like how I was talking about, you can make a quick run for it from Frozen over to the Mickey and Minnie Short. Here, there's no quick run from anywhere to anywhere, and there is definitely no quick run to the exit.
No, no, not at all.
Not an indoor option, but let me take a break, is Animals Take Flight. It is seated in shaded areas, but outside. Their stage where they have different birds, and it's hosted by Up. That's a great, let me just take a break and not stand in a huge line.
Definitely.
And not first thing in the day, but by usually around 11 o'clock, Festival of the Lion King and Nemo. Also great ways to get out of the elements, into some AC. The Nemo line is all outdoors, so keep that in mind if it's going to be raining, but they do open them about 10 minutes before showtime. And Festival of the Lion King has a small queue that is covered, and then a bulk of the queue is not. But again, they're going to open those early. You're going to see the show. So it does take a good 40 to 50 minutes out of your day. And then hopefully you've relaxed, recharged, escaped without, feeling like you just took a shower, and you're off for some more fun.
So it is a challenging thing, right? And I think most people that spend any time in Walt Disney World can tell you a story of when they got poured on or when it was just too darn hot. So I think it's definitely a valid topic for us to talk about tonight. It's possible that some of our listeners are listening to certain things that we're saying here, and they say, well, what about this or what about that? As we post some stuff on social this week, comment on that. Let us know what did we miss that you think that is a good escape for you and your traveling party, because everybody seems to have their own trick for things like this.
They do. And I think you nailed one of the things earlier. There are definitely times where the weather app is saying sunshine all day. You go into one of these things that we talked about, because they're great things, even if you're not trying to get out of the rain.
Right.
And you're inside for 30, 35 minutes. And you come out, you've got young kids, and you go to sit them in the stroller, and they just look at you because you didn't cover it. It's wet. Here's my tip. Keep an extra dollar store poncho. Sometimes I try to cover the stroller before we go in, but if I wasn't expecting it, I'll cover the stroller after. So at least they're sitting on the dry part.
That's right. That's right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. Any last minute things you want to mention before we go, or should we take off for the day?
Grab those ponchos. Lots of people think they're going to melt in the rain and head out of the park. So it's a great time to stay in the park, hit one of these spots, and then some of the outdoor attractions are a shorter line because people have gone home for the day just because of the rain.
That's right. If you can survive the elements, you're better for it. Thanks for taking the time this week. I appreciate it. We'll catch up with you next week.
Sounds great.
And that's a wrap this week on Let's Talk This. If anyone you know could benefit from this or any show, please share, have them like, and subscribe. And don't forget to reach out to the folks at Easy Dis by Instant Impressions Travel Services for any Disney destination. Make it a great week. And as always, keep making memories.